everyone, we're going to continue our Unit 7 lessons with dividing rational expressions. So this is the second part of 7.1. The first part was multiplying them, so we're going to continue with dividing. So two things today, we're going to find reciprocals of rational expressions, and then we're going to divide rational expressions. Okay, so to find the reciprocal, this should be review, but all you do is you flip your fraction. So that's what a reciprocal is. You just flip the place of the numerator and the denominator. And then when you divide rational expressions, you multiply the first, which we call the dividend, by the reciprocal of the second, which is the divisor. So you'll see what I mean when we do an example. So we have 2z over 9 divided by another fraction, 5z squared over 18. So the first fraction stays the same. We have 2z over 9, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of the second. So the 18 moves up top, and the 5z squared moves on bottom. And then you guys can cancel as you want. The 9 cancels with the 18 to give you 2. This z on top cancels with one of the z's on the bottom. So on top, we have 2 times 2, which is 4. And then on bottom, we have 5z. So 4 over 5z, that would be the simplified expression. Okay, that was the only one for that page. All right, carry on. So a little more complicated here, but same idea. So we have m squared pq cubed over mp to the fourth divided by m to the fifth p squared q over mpq squared. So again, the first fraction is going to stay the same. I'm not moving anything around. And then I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the second. So the denominator is going to move up top, numerator is going to move to the bottom, and then we can cancel. So let's see here. We have 2 p's on top. So we can kind of say that these 2 p's here cancel with those 2 p's on the bottom. Let's see, we have this q on the bottom, which will cancel with one of these q's. We have, let's see, these 2 m's will cancel, and then 2 of these m's will cancel with 2 on the bottom, leaving 3. And then the last thing we have, I think that's it. I think we've canceled everything. We've canceled the m's, the p's, and the q's. So up top, we're left with q cubed times another q, which is q to the fourth. And then on bottom, we have p to the fourth, and we have m cubed. All right, so this next one, we're going to do 8k minus 16 over 3k divided by 3k minus 6 over 4k squared. So again, the top or the first fraction stays the same, not changing anything there. Second fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So 4k squared over 3k minus 6. Now, when you start having these binomial terms, you're going to want to factor. So here we have a greatest common factor of 8. We can factor out an 8, and we're left with k minus 2. And here, I'm going to leave the 4k squared. But again, we have another binomial with the GCF we can factor out. We can factor out a 3. And then you guys can see we have these k minus 2's that we can cancel. This k will cancel with one of those k's. And then let's simplify. So we have 8 times 4, which is 32. And we have 1k. And then on bottom, we have 3 times 3, which gives us 9. So 32k over 9. We can't simplify 32 and 9. They have nothing in common. Here's the last example. This one looks the craziest because we have some trinomials here. But so first, let's leave this first fraction the same, 5m squared plus 17m minus 12 over 3m squared plus 7m minus 20. And then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So 15m squared minus 34m plus 15. And then the numerator moves to the bottom. 5m squared plus 2m minus 3. Okay, so when you have trinomials, we have to factor these. Otherwise, we can't cancel anything. So let's see. Let's start with well, let's just start with this first one here. So since the coefficient in front of the squared term is more than 1, we're going to have to use that bottoms up method that we used last unit. So we're going to be using some stuff from unit 6 here. So first thing you do is you take the 5 and multiply it with the negative 12. So we get m squared plus 17m, and then it's going to be minus 60. So now you have to come up with two things that multiply to be 60 and add to be, or multiply to be negative 60 and add to be 17. So those two things are positive 20 and negative 3. And then we divide those by the number that was originally out front. So we get m plus 4. This one can't be simplified, so we bring bottoms up. Okay, so that's what you guys would go and do with every single one of those trinomials here. So we just saw that this first one factored to be m plus 4 and then 5m minus 3. And then you'd have to do the same thing with the bottom. This one factors to be m plus 4 times 3m minus 5. Okay, we'd have to factor the 15m squared minus 34m plus 15. That factors to be 5m minus 3 times 3m minus 5. And then last, you'd have to factor that last one. It would be m plus 1 times 5m minus 3. Because once you factor, things cancel really nicely. This 5m minus 3 cancels with this one. The 3m minus 5 cancels with this 3m minus 5. And then the m plus 4s cancel as well. So you're just left with 5m minus 3 over m plus 1. So that's dividing rational expressions. Let me know if you guys have any questions.